Oh, man.
Yep, Bernie?
I wish I could control the weather.
Yeah, that would be a really cool thing.
Yeah, the other day,
Yep.
I was walking home from school,
Yep.
and then, bam, there was a thunderstorm, and I got soaking wet. And you know, my hair,
I do know your hair.
it gets all frizzy when it's wet, and I looked like a silly willy.
You look like a bit of a silly willy.
Yeah, I wish I could control the weather.
Man, that would be really cool. I wish I could control the weather too. I could make it rain when I wanted to make.
Yeah, not rain when I'm outside.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But unfortunately, Bernie, none of us can control the weather. But there is somebody
Yeah,
who's control over everything.
yeah, my mum and dad.
Well, no, your parents, pretty important, have control, but not control over everything.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yep.
The Prime Minister.
No. The Prime Minister, pretty important, has control over lots of things, but doesn't have control over everything. They can't control the weather.
Then who can?
The person who's in control over everything is God.
What do you mean?
Well, in the Bible, it tells us that God is sovereign.
God is what, Rain? You said God is something, Rain.
No, I said God is sovereign.
Yeah, something, Rain.
No, God is sovereign. That means God is in control over everything.
How do you know that?
Well, firstly, the Bible tells us that. But secondly, remember the story of Joseph?
Yeah.
We know God was in control all the way through Joseph's life.
What do you mean?
Well, Joseph was sold as a slave, right?
Yeah.
And then he ended up in prison.
Yeah.
And then he was left in prison for 2 years.
That's even worse.
It was even worse. But then because of that, he was able to go and speak to Pharaoh.
Yeah, that's right. And he could tell him what was going to happen.
That's right. You see, God was looking after everything. God was working that all out. So Joseph would be there to tell the Pharaoh what was going to happen so that he could save everybody's life. You know, in fact, Joseph spoke about this, and this is what he said. He said, you intended this to harm me. So he said to his brothers, you intended all these bad things to harm me.
Yeah, they did.
But God intended it for good to accomplish what he is being done now to save lots of people.
What's that mean?
What Joseph was saying is, even when bad things happened, God was still in control and he was still working out everything so everything would turn out for God's good.
Oh, that's really cool.
That is really cool. And you know what? When bad things happen in our lives,
Like it rains on my hair.
like it rains on your hair, or sometimes even worse, maybe your friends don't want to talk to you anymore, or maybe you get really sick, or maybe somebody you know hurts you, or somebody you love dies.
Oh, they're really bad things.
They are really bad things, and they seem like the world's out of control.
Yeah.
Well, we can remember that God still is control, and we can look back at the story of Joseph, and we see, even though there's bad things, God is still in control.
Yeah, that's right.
And we can also look back at the story of Jesus.
What do you mean?
Well, what was the greatest thing Jesus did?
Oh yeah, he died on the cross.
That's right, he died on the cross. And when Jesus was dying on the cross, it looked like it was out of control, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
But see, God was using that for Jesus to beat sin, death, and the devil. And Jesus didn't stay dead.
What do you mean?
On the third day, Jesus rose to life again. And so when we look back at Jesus' life, we can see that God was still in control, even in the bad bits, and know that God is still in control right now. So the story of Joseph reminds us of the even better story of Jesus, which reminds us that God is in control all the time, no matter what happens.
Wow. God's pretty awesome.
God is really awesome and we can trust him. How about we pray and thank God for that?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Dear God, I just want to thank you that you are always in control. I want to thank you that you are really awesome and that you are in control. Help us when things are going bad to look back at the life of Jesus and the life of Joseph and see that you are in control then and you're in control now. Amen.
Amen. Well, Ben,
Yep.
it's not raining now, so maybe I should go skateboarding.
Yeah, it's not raining now. Actually, it looks pretty beautiful outside.
Oh yeah, it does. See everybody, I'm off to skateboard.
So everybody, we'll catch you next time.